to the new moon in Pisces 2025 live stream. So you may notice I was a little bit late. Ironically, I was trying to get myself into the spirit of Pisces, right? I don't know if anyone has noticed, but anytime I do any of these streams, I typically lean myself as best as I can into the energies that I'm talking about, into the vibes that I'm speaking on. And so I was talking about Pisces, and I'm like slowly getting ready for this, and I'm pulling up, and I'm like, suddenly I'm like losing the time. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like grabbing a coffee, just going to the bathroom. I'm looking at some stuff on my phone, and I'm like, oh, I have to go back to the live, and I'm like, oh wait, this is a very Pisces type of feeling. It's a very Pisces energy. As a matter of fact, we are in Pisces season. So one thing to say for everybody who is a Pisces, happy birthday to the Pisces in the room. If you are a Pisces and you feel exactly what I was saying a second ago, that's where I was at. So I just wanted to let y'all know. And also I had an issue earlier during a reading with some of my equipment that likes to randomly go out when I start getting into really good points. So I just wanted to make sure to troubleshoot everything before I hop on. Oh, we got Sav here too. Okay, we're gonna have a good stream. What's good? How y'all doing? Randall's here. Hey, what's good? Quintana, Ann. I'm sorry, Ann. I know it took a second. You be Ann be here too. She be here before everybody else. It's gonna be a good stream today. Okay. All right, let's hop in. I'm putting on my things. Okay. One thing I want to talk about in terms of this energetic, just to break things down, right? Pisces season is the final season of the last year that we've experienced. I do not count 2025 as starting until March 21st, right? Any astrologer that you know worth their weight in knowing their stuff knows that energetically the astrological new year begins in this Aries season coming up. So every time we get into Pisces season, this is about letting go of what no longer serves. It's about truly letting go of what doesn't resonate to you. The people that want to stick to the energy moving forward are going to pop up during this time, right? And is indeed the cornerstone of the chat. Facts, 100%. Facts. But to get back into the Pisces energy before, actually, again, as I'm explaining this, I'm letting myself be in the Pisces energy, and the distraction portion is a very Piscean thing too. Why? Because Pisces is always looking for the next psychic or energetic or emotional hit that's around them. They feel when things are shifting, right? They're like, oh, something changed over there. Let's move into that. Oh, something's different over here. Let's move into that. Their intuition is very much based off of this higher elevated feeling, which is from a similar place where most of us associate the feeling of love from. You know how when we talk about love or feelings of love, or oh, this one person who made you feel like, but you try to explain it and it's like, and then even for people who are super poetic, they can continuously write about the same thing, right? As a matter of fact, Frank Ocean, if I'm not mistaken, wrote his two biggest albums off of the same heartbreak. Like it was like off of one person, right? He was able to get so much out because like there's such an unexplainable feeling that you can almost explain it a million times. And this type of poetic nature, or this type of like let go nature, is very Piscean, right? Pisces is the mystic waters of the outer known. Like basically, to give you some context, and I'm going to be giving y'all some more classes coming up in the future. I've been really trying to develop more things to bring y'all like the best stuff, because like I've seen so many avenues of how people do astrology, how I would like to do astrology, how I want to build more community with y'all. I love doing this on YouTube just because it makes it the most accessible, right? I want to be able to have people just like load up, wherever they're at, where I'm at, talk about things, break stuff down, so that's why like I really do strive and Want to make sure that like, the community gets what they're looking for. So if there's anything, just to be so real with y'all and transparent with y'all, right? If there's anything that y'all want to see me explain or me do or me like talk about, right? Specifically, like that I haven't talked about yet. I've covered a lot of master classes in terms of the astrology because I wanted to give everybody the basics from the heart. I want to make sure everyone had a little bit of understanding and knowledge. I made sure to put out the North Node stuff for free, Midheaven stuff for free. I put out a lot of the main things that I did in this last year for free. From my 11th house year on, I was like, here y'all go, right? But I want to make sure that things that I do have moving forward are very much geared for like everyone else. So if y'all do have any like genuine suggestions or things that you've heard other people cover that like I haven't covered, or maybe I've covered something from a long time ago and you want me to cover it again from a different lens, you know, make sure that y'all pull up and let me know about that. Saturn returns, absolute facts. Yeah, I know. I'll get into that. Degree theory, true, for sure. So this is where we're getting into like this whole picture of Pisces, right? Because like even as we're letting go of Pisces, like the shifts from Aquarius season into Pisces season, as Aquarius season is really reflective of like, what does everyone think? Where Pisces season is more reflective of what does everyone really feel? And that's the real strongest distinction. And this is what I was trying to say earlier for a second, where I was like, technically, back in the day, in like ancient time, from what I understood, like the zodiac ends at Capricorn, so to speak, right? Because like technically, if we're talking about the zodiac, like if we're talking about the last four of the zodiac, Sagittarius being the traveler, Sagittarius has traveled all the spots. They're like connecting, you know, the sky. They're like the lighthouse, so to speak, right? Whereas Capricorn is the top of the mountain at the highest point, where the earth gets to the sky. And this is where we get into the weirdness of Aquarius and Pisces as an energetic, right? Because Aquarius is then like the sky connecting up to basically like where space is, right? If anyone's familiar with like the concept of like the firmament or like the things or the level in between. And then Pisces is outer space outside of that, because y'all, one thing I have to explain to y'all that I don't, it's really hard to explain. Like telling people how space moves is so hard to do. Just want to point this out, right? Telling people how space moves is so hard to explain because space is watery, right? Things don't go in a perfect cycle all of the time. Things don't always go in a perfect, like the way that we think about dimensional things and how this goes this way, that goes that way. Space is not like that. It is. When I tell you, like, it's like, put the next time you see like a little puddle, like somewhere and there's some rocks around it, just keep just dropping random rocks in the puddles. Right? And just watch how the water moves. And then when you realize everything in space moves like that in a weird way, but not, it's so hard to put into words. As a matter of fact, at some point soon, I want to do a video where I actually like show y'all the universe. I have a simulated universe that goes and shows you every aspect of it, like in like the full definition. So I guess I might do a video where I just explore that and talk about the astrology a little bit and mess up in between, but maybe make it funny. So maybe I'll do something like that. Who knows? But yes, very open to suggestions moving into this upcoming Aries season, because I want to be able to address what the community has been thinking and feeling from this Aquarius season into Pisces season. And then let's bring all those ideas together moving forward for the next astrological new year. So that's all of that. Let me see. Let's double check. Hello. What's up, Jen? Jen just hopped in. Okay, cool. What's up, Yaya? Yeah. The mystic waters of outer knowing. Yes, it is. Very confused with Pisces Mars because that's so contradictory. So here's the thing with Pisces. Pisces is a contradictory energy because when you get to water energy, there's contradiction. There's contradiction because like The phases of the moon changes. Nobody questions the phases of the moon when they change. The emotional capacity of water is to like be fluid, is to sometimes be in a more move and motion based thing, to sometimes be in a more I have to toughen up and be a type of way sort of situation. So water is supposed to move in that regard. And the thing with this new moon in Pisces that's coming up on this upcoming Thursday, right? This is, I want to point this out. I didn't want to like come through. I don't want to do no extra stuff. I just did my, I just wrote for astrology.com for the first time, which has been really cool. But I wrote for astrology.com for this upcoming March. So that should be out March 1st, if I'm not mistaken. So be on the lookout for that, right? And as I'm writing for them, I'm looking at March's astrology and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's a lot. It's a lot of change. There's a lot of, and y'all know I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, look at this. But there's a lot of shifts that's about to pull up, right? And so when it comes to all of those things, right? Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the like, appreciate the A's, appreciate the hype, appreciate you. Much love, much love. But when we get to this whole situation, right? To give you more context to this, there's another like shift and change with this new moon in Pisces, which wants people to like feel out what their soul's feeling. Like this isn't the month or the time frame to like focus on what everyone else is feeling, because we're about to hit Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde is the most introspective 40 days that we get every like 2 years or so, right? There's an introspective 40 days. When we talk about the story, and if you just use it as a parable and if anything else, but the story of Jesus where he walked through the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, and he tried to resist the temptation of like what was going on because he had to fast and he had to show his show of strength. And there was a whole story behind that. And there's different variations of this, right? There's the coming of age story where like back in the day, men had to go through a coming of age, right? Now that men don't have a coming of age story, how many times do we talk about the toxicity of the patriarchy and things like that, right? There's a whole other side of things that we miss out on because of this, right? Oh no, not more introspection? Yes, and more introspection. I am so sorry to tell you, like 2025 is like it's a 9 year, right? We are in a year that is full of releasing. Right. And this is really going to show you a different type of release, because this is a Pisces to Virgo type of release. Eclipse season starts basically after this new moon in Pisces. This is the last new moon, as a matter of fact, that you can use right now for manifestation until we get into like May, to be so honest with you. Probably like April or May. I'll keep y'all updated because a lot of astrology in my head. But the idea when it gets to this, when we step into March, and this is why I want to tell you about this new moon in Pisces and why it's so important to like feel out your dream, because guess what? Some aspects of your dreams are starting to shift, and that's okay. And I want y'all to know that that's okay, because you could have came through thinking you had to do something very specific. You had a very specific dream. You had a very specific thing you were supposed to do, and that could have fell through, and you might have been like, oh no, well, that's it. Oh no, well, then there's nothing else now. These dreams are shifting, right? These ideas, these things are shifting. They're going through different phases and stages right now, right? So this new moon in Pisces is like, where's your dream at now? What have you accomplished that used to be a dream? And even if it changed a little bit, what really has undergo? Because Pisces is also the promise that like your dreams are meant to come true. And even if they don't come true the same specific way, you can still bridge that in. Still bring that into your life and into your world, right? Okay, cool. I know I see y'all are saying stuff, so let me go back. Let's go. Congrats. Appreciate you. Much love. Yay. Okay. Definitely do the full moon of Virgo. Yep. My perfection was 9 last year. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Wait 1 second. So this Venus retrograde growing through what sign? Okay, cool. So just to give y'all some context, this is why I'm talking about I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about. Oh, make sure y'all tap into Randall when she drops her website. Shout out to Randall. She's been one of my long-time astrology coaching students, and we have been having an epic time. Oh, no, we just ended our sessions. Oh, I forgot. No, I thought we were meeting today. Man, that's crazy. Anyway, we have a blast. Much love. So make sure that you check them out because I have been helping them on their astrology journey. It's been so awesome to watch them grow and know their stuff. So like, make sure that you tap into their site when they drop it. So just want to make sure to give a shout out because that's real. That's real. That's fire. Okay, back to everything else. Getting back to what I was saying before about March, right? March starts, we immediately get hit with Venus retrograde. The best part about today is that Mars retrograde is about to end tonight. It was in 6 hours. Still not yet. 6 hours. I wanted to kind of do this now to show you like this is still the like that we're dealing with during Mars retrograde, right? As you see, the tired, the like, man, it's been like that. By the way, this the reason why this is here is because this is it was come from a company. The bubble is called Iconic Mars, and I realized most things that I use are like planet themed or astrology themed. And I didn't realize that until like later on. And I'm like, subconsciously, I always did that. So that's cool. Anyway, Mars retrograde is over. We see the crying emoji because the people who had Cancer energy have been going through it. All the cardinal signs have been going through it, right? Because like anyone who has Mars as their as their ruling sign has been going through it because like the way that we typically push things out into the world have been literally stopped. How do I know? Because literally if you go back even to these live streams, a few live streams ago, I literally just got back to being able to be at my house because there was a huge fire that messed everything else. Right? So being able to like dip out and then coming back through, it's been a lot of energy because like most of the output, right? Saying Cancer rising is tired, right? Because most of the energy that's been being pushed out has been being like, there's been always like a something, like a little something has been like that, right? Anytime during Mars retrograde, all the Martian people or people who are like about that or in the cardinal signs, anytime you start trying to do something, it's like, why? And it's like, that feeling and that back and forth is super frustrating. So what's going on as Mars goes direct again is that the reason why things have been acting up like that is because Mars retrograde was showing you that every time you got blocked was because you're doing something from your ego and not your intuition. So if you've been like not like actually leaning into like what you've been feeling, everything went against you. But the minute that you were like, oh, let me like calm down, let me do what I feel that's right, everything would work out. And so that ideology and those things that you saw and be like, right? That's in order for you. So moving forward, it's not going to have the same like, slap on the hand. Now it's like, it's all up to you. But the reason why it was so important to learn that is because the intuition part, the lesson of that is like, yo, lean into your intuition. If you don't have the energy to go to the next battle, why are you hopping into it? Right? Like, why are you going to do things when you don't have enough stamina to keep that going? Mars retrograde is like the knowing that like, yo, sometimes you don't got it and that's okay. You have to learn how to rest as much as that is, right? As much as you can work out, you can't work out past like 6 or 7 days or else like your body starts to not. Like you have to rest in between that. There's a reason why we have Jupiter and Saturn. It's expansion and contraction. If everything just kept growing all the time, it wouldn't be fun. Right? The ideology of like more money, more problems comes from the idea of like too much Jupiter. You know what I'm saying? If you never held more than like X amount in your bank account and then you win $1 trillion in the lottery, all of a sudden, after taxes for some reason, right? Like you actually still so much like $1 trillion. You know what I'm saying? You're going to act up because you don't know, like there's too much expansion. You know what I'm saying? As much as we don't like from our human ego standpoint, when Saturn is like, no, you're not ready to grow to this level yet. No, you're not ready to do that. There's a reason why we have belts in different martial arts, right? If you get thrown in to an actual squabble with Kung Fu Kenny and you just wrote your first raps, you just wrote your first hibbity hop, and your first opponent is Kung Fu Kenny, Mr. Third Degree Black Belt, you're going to have the worst time. It's not going to be good. You know what I'm saying? Like you will be outclassed, so to speak. So this is why we have, again, those expansions and contractions and all these other things. And the new moon in Pisces is really trying to like let you know, like the part of your, like the dream that you have, like think of any character you can think of, any movie, any person that you've ever seen that's been successful. They talk about the highs and the lows, but nobody really gets into like what those lows are. Nobody really gets into what those highs are. They're just like, man, things were hard, but I kept my faith and I moved on through. I just made sure to keep on moving, put in my good one too, and everything will work out from there. That's what I believed in, and that's just how it happened. And like, cool, that's possible, right? But guess what? The belief, the Lulu almost in that, right? To give you some context, and I don't want to say just the Lulu, because there's a deeper rendition to this, right? There's a sacredness to this that's also behind here. Because, for example, we're now in the age of Aquarius. Don't believe me? Fight somebody else about it. I don't care. We left the age of Pisces. Why do I know? Because in the age of Pisces, that was where everything was so religious, right? Like back in the age of Pisces, it was like, to be so honest, I'm just transparent. We're in the age of Aquarius. Let's be real about it. It was like, if you're not one of the like main 3 religious identities, it was kind of like F you. And even in between those identities, there were squabbles in between that. Who was the real prophet? Who's the real person moving forward? How do we define like what God means or Allah or whatever like rendition of that energetic is? It was an argument about like what's the highest power. That was the biggest part of like the age of Pisces, right? But then as we're entering or we're exiting from the age of Pisces, we're entering a new state as we're doing right now, to where it's like there's more spiritual renditions that are opening up. That's not to say that those other things don't have really strong prospects and that there's not like beautifully, there's some, I've met some super religious people who are like just genuine beings. Like they are just love. Like they found the aspect of love and power and that serendipity through that means, through that vehicle of that religion. They found a deeper meaning, right? Maybe for people that we're doing this right now, maybe we could find that through knowing some astrology and whatever else that we're really into, right? I do think astrology is just a tool to bring a lot of other aspects of life together. But this is where it's like, this new moon wants to get you just involved with like your more like dreamlike state. It wants you to be like, yo, like you're living the dream. That's the real secret. The real secret behind everything when it comes to Pisces is that you're already living the dream. You just haven't chosen it yet, right? And sometimes in part of your dream, you need to sleep. Sometimes in part of your dream, you need to have there's the concept in shows where there's filler episodes, right? You have the main seasons all done and through, and then there's like a couple of filler episodes, and they don't mean anything. It could just be like your favorite characters having a day out at the park, just kicking it. You know what I mean? Not doing anything. Maybe they're like, I'm thinking about the Teen Titans right now. Maybe they were out fighting fire, like crying before, and now they're just like, oh, we're chilling, getting some pizza, having a good day, right? You need those days too. As a matter of fact, Pisces lives for those days. Are you serious? If you want to like, one of my old hope, we used to do nothing. When I had a Pisces home, we used to literally just do nothing. We would just post up, there'd be some cartoons, and we would just like exist in like just be around people. And it was just a concept in a very Jupiterian, right? Like we would just run into like random funny scenarios, and then we would just be chilling. And there was always like a underneath, like no matter what weird random thing happened or what weird serendipitous synchronicity would go on, we would still just be chilling. You know what I mean? It would be like, yo, did you see that? Like, yo, that's crazy. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's move on. Let's move forward. What's the next thing? Hey, what's your favorite cereal? That's how Pisces is, yo. If you have Pisces energy, please let me know in the chat over there if you feel what I'm saying, you know. Let me see real quick. So Beyonce was right when she said you are the visual. Yep. Yes, my affirmation is about thinking what I have and what I'm doing because of dreams I talked about a year ago. So actually, Randall, you're a great representation of this because you've been working for me for the past year. And like seeing Randall go from point A to like being this like epic priestess living her best life. I'm hyped for the website. Please make sure that y'all tap into that. Is an immaculate thing. And this is all off of, if I'm not mistaken, like a dream board like from a year ago. You know what I'm saying? And that's not, you know, just on that part of things. That's what the new moon in Pisces is for. I don't know I get mixed up on this. I think it was like, I remember there was a really important new moon in Pisces for me that led me to like being here at this moment. And I forgot exactly what it was, but I was just like, I don't know. I was just like, I wanted to do astrology, but I didn't know where to do it. But I wanted to make sure that it was still artful. I wanted to make sure to still be myself. I wanted to make sure to still like speak from my heart and not like compromise that ever. You know what I'm saying? Even if I work for something that's corporate, or even if I do work for something that's like a little bit outside of like what I normally do, I still wanted to make sure that I could put like my like actual self and hearted things into it, right? And this is the reason why I'm even speaking on all these things in terms of this Pisces energy, is because it's not just a new moon in Pisces. We have the North Node in Pisces. We have Saturn in Pisces. We have Neptune in Pisces, conjunct the North Node in Pisces. So there's a Pisces stellium that's going on during this new moon. So the Sun, Moon, Saturn, North Node, Mercury, and Neptune, all in Pisces right now. As a matter of fact, I think I can show you. Am I smart? Did I mess it up? Am I good? Oh wait, there we go. All right, if y'all see me upside down right now, then you was in the live stream where that happened. And if you don't know what's going on right now, neither do I. But what I did say and keep going about, as we can see up here, word. And yes, I'm gonna stay upside down. I'm sorry. Y'all gonna have to deal with it. I'm being whimsical. Have fun. Okay. So as I move a little bit closer into this, I think, yes. Oh, that's so messy. What am I doing? I thought I was a professional. I thought I was being cool. Okay. Now we're back in. Lock in. Okay. Sun, Moon, Saturn, Mercury, North Node, Neptune. That's wild, right? If someone was born with this, I would be like, hey, you just gave birth to a wizard. So if someone you know is about to have a kid, that's a wizard. It's just straight up. They're a witch. They have some type of magical capability. They're a high priestess. They are someone who is of the church of the cloth. I don't know. But there's something that's very mythical and mystical in terms of like this energetic, right? This is the type of thing where like quote unquote legends are made of. You know how they used to have those like tall tales back in the day, or even like this is where all of that comes from, that type of imagination, right? And if you look at the world right now, we're dealing with so much crap. You look at the news, nothing's good, right? Why? Because we're dealing with the imaginations of all the worst people being highlighted and pushed as actual facts, and we don't know what actually is facts. And that's the whole problem behind this North Node. And like this, how are we supposed to know anything? How are we supposed to know anything at all, ever, with all of these energies? But you want to know how we can know? If we feel it, though. If we trust what we feel, though. Is that real? Is that fake? Is that genuine? Is that coming from someone's heart? Is that BS? Is that whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many, like, parts to that word. And to move on over, what we have over here, though. We have the South Node in Virgo. And although, again, this is about the North Node and Pisces and stuff, we're going to be having later on, the next shift in 2 weeks after this new moon is going to be the lunar eclipse in Virgo, right? So this is where I wanted to kind of break everything down from, and why I wanted to give you a little look at the future versus just talking about the new moon as itself. Because the new moon in Pisces, of course, you can make your dream happen. But guess what? During eclipse season is going to be the things that have to fall off so you can really embody that. And then when the solar eclipse comes around at the end of March, that's when you have to take that fullness of the dream and the things that fell off, and you see the other part of your future, and then you actualize what that is. And that's a communication between you, your higher self, you, the universe, all throughout the month of March. Like, it's not something that you can avoid. It's not something that you can avoid because we have Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde going through. So Mars was showing us how to physically slow things down. It was giving us a lot of angsty energy, but it was like, how do you physically slow things down in your world, right? Now Mars is going direct. Okay, you can start to move back again. Things are easier in terms of movement. Like the things that were maybe messing up before, maybe mess up a little bit less again, right? Venus retrograde comes through. That is 40-day cycle, 40 to 44 days. I just like saying 40-day because it sounds better. It sounds cooler. And F you, that's why. No, but on the real, right? That's the fine. Moldavite keeps showing up on my timeline. I'm scared. If you're ready for that journey, that's one thing. If you're not ready for that journey, don't do it. Like straight up, there was a trend at a certain point, and actually, let's actually guide this from this new moon in Pisces perspective, right? For those y'all who don't know, and this is the educational piece, I'm letting y'all know this, so y'all know this. This is important, but I'm letting you know so you know, right? Moldavite is not to be just played with. It is a very sacred stone. And I'm telling, I know that you're not, but I want to break this down for anybody else, because there was a time frame, and this is a Piscean thing that happens, right? Trends are the most Piscean vibration that we see on a day-to-day basis. The trends that come and go, the fever dream memes that I've definitely made, like other people have made, where it's like, what's going on? That's so Piscean. That's why you can't remember it afterward, but you're like, yeah, maybe like laugh, or I felt to something. Okay, let's dig into this again. When it comes to like Moldavite, there was a time, I believe it was 3 or 4 years ago, where it became a trend on TikTok, right? And people were like, yo, I wanna grab some Moldavite, right? Because everyone's grabbing it and they keep saying that it's changing their lives, right? Moldavite is what a freaking eclipse is in a crystal. The reason why it got so popular is because even if you don't believe in that stuff, you're going to feel what it is, because like you can still feel every other crystal if you let it. But that one, it's so powerful, it takes over. Why? This is the crystal that was associated with King Arthur. This was the actual full like crystal that came down as a meteor, right? And gave the power to the Holy Grail, so to speak, according to legend. It's very powerful. It's not to be just toyed with. And like, yes, you will have big change. I'm feeling a lot as I'm saying this, because like it's a very, very powerful thing. But like, here's the problem. The problem is people sometimes get to that, or they want that final form before they even form themselves. And the problem with the way that the world is working is that everyone kind of expects you to be the final form of yourself. Right. So that crystal is it powerful? Yes. Will it change your world? Yes. But a lot of people that picked up the stuff and wasn't ready for the lessons went through heartbreaks, went through disaster, like things like look up like if you still have TikTok, look up people's Moldavite stories from back then, and you'll literally watch them be like, oh my God, it's my first day with it. And then afterward, it was like, it was 2020. It might have been 2020. Thank you. Yes. So there was a big craze for it. Like it got super popular, and people's like stuff started falling apart because they weren't ready for the lessons. Not everyone is built for this type of journey. Not everyone is supposed to listen to an astrologer to help them, guide that stuff. That's not how everyone's pulling through. And the main thing that I really want to get across is that, like, even in my own like journey with that crystal, right, that I had, right, it's one of those things that's like, even for someone who knows their stuff and works in that, I was like having like problems with it, because it's like that type of like thing, you know what I'm saying? And so this is where I try to tell people and like caution people that like the trends and the things that pop up sometimes, like the reason why I like low key stops with like the memes for a hot second is because like, one, it became like a trend for a lot of other people, and I was like, I'm good off that. But two, it was like, this isn't it. At a time it was working in terms of like the educational part, and like I think it was really landing on that, but I think it just lost its oomph in terms of like where it was hitting people, not because of how I was presenting it, well, sometimes even, you know what I'm saying, but I just think it's like it just like sometimes you got to let parts of the dream go in order for other things to open up. And that's why the new moon in Pisces is trying to be like, yo, explore that dream, explore that feeling. Because eclipse season is going to show you what that actually is. But this is the first part where you feel what that actually is. So yes, Moldavite is one of those crazy things to where it's like, oh my God, things take off. Like there's a stronger force that's at that play, right? And Pisces season shows you that the stronger force is at play, but you don't have to grab some other type of crystal in order for you to tap into that. You could choose to tap into that. And that's the biggest lesson behind every crystal. The biggest lesson behind any cards is that if you really get a tarot, like the cards are an excuse, because you can break down the same thing intuitively, but people have a hard time believing someone can just know their world just off of a conversation. It's a really hard thing. It's a humbling thing to be like, wait, what? And yeah, maybe that person's channeling, right? Like I do tarot, obviously. I've done tarot without doing tarot. I be trying to give people the advice low key, but hey, it's whatever. But the idea though, right? But the idea though is like the concept of this is that sometimes, and this is the whole breakdown of this next eclipse cycle and why this is all being mentioned, right? Is because there are tangible things that will show you power exists. But the power existed before those tangible things even came into form. So how are you going to build your dream life and let go of your ego so the universe can just guide you into what that next stage means? You're entering a new astrological year, right? I love using cards, but I don't want to rely on them. And the thing is that, like, you don't have to rely on them particularly, right? I know sometimes I pull stuff, and if you're somebody who's very, and I've had this problem before where you're super like book into it. So it's like, well, that's not what it says on the paper, right? But it's like, well, someone had to intuit the first thing before it got on paper, right? People who are really good at tarot in general or spiritual stuff, we all start to say the same things about certain stuff. We have different messengers for different reasons, right? We have different inflections, different people, different faces. I appreciate y'all for seeing me as one of those faces and seeing me as one of those people, right? Because y'all were here before. I have this like astrology.com thing that's happening, the other stuff that was going on like that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all because I got this from just like doing this because I loved it, you know, and following that dream. And I didn't know how that was going to look. I was telling somebody earlier, I was like, yo, like I came out initially out here to LA and all this other stuff to like do music and photography. All of a sudden I'm like an astrologer, like at a higher level. I'm like, how does that occur? Right? Well, I went to a place where like dreams start to happen because that's the dichotomy, right? That's what's interesting. It's that you can make your dream come happen. But what I love about this city specifically is that like you'll come out here with a certain thing and it'll guide you to the right stuff. So people might think they want to do something else, and what they're getting guided to becomes the thing that works. And that's what I think I love about this city in particular. But it's tough. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But the idea of like this whole new moon in Pisces is like, what is this stream that's starting to occur? How different is it from what it was before? Maybe you thought that you wanted to always go out and be out about and everything else, and maybe you become more of like, oh, I like being at home. Maybe you're someone who's been more like at home, or you're like, you know what, I need to go explore things more, right? There's different things that are going to start to change, and the different structures are going to start to change that you swore maybe up and down that was always going to be you, right? There's a reason, and there's a joke that a lot of people say, where like, yo, never, like, don't say never because like you never know, right? And this is kind of like the dichotomy because it's like maybe you're like, yo, screw this. Like, I'll put it like this, right? And ironically, in all the stuff that I've ever done, like, and yes, I know I have a newsletter, but I've in my brain, for whatever reason, and y'all might laugh at this, but in my brain, I never considered myself like a writer for real, which is stupid because I literally write all the time for stuff, right? But in my head, I'm like, oh, like, it's not this, it's not that. Like, maybe it's because it's not an coming from an imaginative place and it feels more like something else. But it's like, but that's what I just got called to do. Like, people reached out to me to start writing stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And the reason why I was able to step up and do it is because I already do it. And so there's stuff like that even I don't think about. But you have more stuff than I can even think about that's like that. You build up so much game from just existing and playing this game of life that you really just don't know how powerful you really are. And that's what this whole new moon of Pisces wants to remind you, right? That the power and the love and the wishes and everything else came from you first. So let the eclipses start to like show and guide you. Let the retrogrades slow you down where it needs to. The retrogrades are occurring so the eclipses can do its work and do its job. You want to keep fighting what the eclipses are doing during this Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde? You want to fight against it directly? You want to fight against that? You want to keep everything the same, every single part of everything? Like you're not going to let anything shift? Okay. But you going up against some very interesting times. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I wanted to give y'all the full context of this. So just to let y'all know one more time, the eclipse is happening on the 27th. of this month. So on Thursday is the new moon in Pisces at its height. I wanted to come on here earlier so I can do the reading. Speaking of, if y'all want to get a mini reading, let me. Okay, so let me just double check something real quick. Oh, of course I closed it because that's something I would do. All right, so for anybody who wants to pop in though, right? Okay, there I am. Look at me. Wow. Okay. We are having the new moon in Pisces mini reading card pulls for today. I'm putting them at this lower price because I just felt like it. Why not? Might as well just help out the people, you know what I'm saying? So these are the mini readings for today during this live stream. If you get a little bit afterward, I will still honor it, of course. And for those who are actually doing the full part of things, right? I ended up opening up the Moon Mastery membership because a lot of people want to give a part of correction. Let me say this. I know a lot of y'all have busy lives. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of busy lives. I'm super busy. I've been busier than I've been in a long time. Like I totally get that. If y'all have kids, if y'all have pets, there's all types of stuff that goes on. This Moon Mastery membership is for like, oh man, I missed a live stream with Chad, but I wish I was there for a live reading. This is your absolute guarantee. And I do these directly to you. So this is a more like quote unquote intimate experience in terms of getting a reading, because I'm going to be like literally just sitting down, just energetically at you. And that's going to be very focused, just to let you know. And this is a way that you could do it so you don't have to think about it. And I cover whatever new moon and full moon is up next. We have a few people who have signed up for this thus far. Shout out to Bia, shout out to Zuka, and there's a few other you know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all for pulling through. Much love to you. But that's what I have thus far for that. And that's just the easiest way for me to know. Cause like I have ADHD. I have a whole bunch of projects I work on. So like, I just want to make sure that I have enough energy and bandwidth to knock all of those out for y'all in its excellence, you know? And the last thing to mention, just as of right now, I figured, I was like, yo, I'm gonna drop a sale. So from now until the first, until this eclipse season and retrograde stuff starts, I'll put this down to $150. And if you do end up signing up for any of my readings in the next bit, I'm going to set aside some time to actually tell you just about the eclipses on the house and how they're impacting you in your chart. So I'll be talking about like how that month of March is going to look for you and a little bit into what April looks like. So just wanted to give you some context into that in case y'all were looking for it. And of course, sign up for the newsletter to keep updated on everything as I yap about a bunch of stuff. So hopefully y'all have been enjoying that. I've been trying to make sure that has some love in there, you know? So yeah. Okay, cool. So we're about to get to the cards soon, but I see a couple questions and I want to make sure to answer that in that process. Having multiple ways to work on your intuition, facts. We all receive messages depending on who sends the message, facts. Like, no, I appreciate y'all. This is absolutely true. The word that came up in the writing for its moon was surrender. Surrenders are really good. Actually, and we have the question, how do you slow down? And the only way to slow down is surrendering into the flow. I think one thing about the way that we get designed in terms of how we work, especially if we're coming from places that are like very work oriented, or if you get raised in a place that's very work oriented, like slowing down is something that's really hard to do, especially because it's like it's a survival type of thing. So if you're coming from a place of like survival mode, slowing down seems like the most impossible thing to do. Whereas like in the slowness and stillness is where you actually dig into your intuition. Actually, let me pull out a really strong lesson that I got from learning with Deborah and sitting down with Deborah Silverman, OG, that's the GOAT. But we talked about, she actually helped me with this, to be honest. And it's about water. And I always thought, I'm a triple fire sign for any of y'all who don't know, so I'm a passionate guy. But the idea of things is that like I thought that I have I used to be mad at stuff, right? I used to be mad at stuff from a perspective of just being mistreated in the world that I was in for being who I was and how I looked in existing there, right? But I was just like mad at the fact that it's like, man, why do people that look like me or darker than me have to deal with so much crap? Like I was mad. I was Kendrick level mad at stuff, right? And I used to just be like, oh, maybe that was my fire. Like I thought my anger or at the time, you know, I thought that rambunctious feeling was all my fire, and I kind of used to blame or feel guilty about feeling that, because I was like, oh no, maybe I'm being unjustified. I'm not unjustified, by the way. I'm just letting you know what was going on before. I was like, oh, maybe I'm being unjustified. Maybe I'm not like thinking about it the right way. Maybe I'm like, whatever, like, you know. But here's the thing, like, for real, the real part to it is that like the underneath layer of it is like, how do you feel? Word. Because the feeling and the emotive and where it's coming from, the slowdown has to do with stillness. And you don't know what direction to go in until you slow down and look. If you're walking through a forest and you'll miss an intuitive hit if you go the wrong path because you're so focused on going forward. No, we have to go north. Do you? Who said you had to? I think one of the main things about slowing down is knowing what's the difference between the voices of what's trying to tell you to do stuff, knowing who those voices are, and then recognizing like where your voice is actually at. Because your voice might be like, man, I gotta calm down. Man, I gotta take some time today. Man, I gotta take a nap, bro. So the slowdown, and the reason why Mars retrograde was so tough is because like, if Mars retrograde was really tough for you, that's because your biggest lesson was to actually slow down. If Mars retrograde was easy for you, it's gonna kick your ass into gear next few days, and you're not. It's gonna be just all things forward, right? Just want to give y'all a little perspective on that. And yeah, I hope that helped and gave a little context. But yeah. Let's go on to the cards. We're going to go to the cards. The cards. I haven't checked to see who has gotten a mini reading yet. I think we have a few people who have signed up so far. 1 second. Let me just double check. If you haven't signed up so far, I believe we have the whole... It's on my website, but I think I have it in the description as well. So just want to let y'all know that. And now that I have done my initial yap, okay, we out here, dog. Hey, come join the live. Appreciate the love. Thank you on the post. We out here. Okay, let's dig into this. The cards. That was for somebody else. I hope they're doing okay. All right, let's get into this. The cards. All right. We have stuff that's already falling. Let's see what we have in store. This should be interesting. Okay. These are the two that fell out. We have the Page of Wands and the King of Pentacles, right? So I was like, what's going on in general for this new moon in Pisces? What's going on for everybody, right? Yeah, the King of Pentacles, Page of Wands. You need to know that you are more than enough. Like you have more than what it takes to actually accomplish the thing. And sometimes we get so caught up in like, you know, I'm a gearhead. I love gear. I love tech stuff, right? All the stuff that I have, there's always a glitch no matter what. Like no matter how, even if you go over different levels, there's still a glitch. So like at a certain point, it's like, do you have what you already need? Yes, of course. Yeah, but it's about learning about what you already need. It's about really owning and taking care of what you already need as well. And with the King of Pentacles, just in general, right? It's like you have what you're made of. You have the stuff to do it. And if you haven't gotten the things yet, you have the resources to actually get to that. So don't think that you're out of the actual thing. You're more than enough, truly, right? And the Page of Wands is like, if you haven't started getting your thing into gear, if you haven't started actually like going for that or showing up as that, you should. I mean, you should just like slowly start implementing that, right? It took me a long time to just like kind of be able to like fully look at people in their face and be like, yo, I'm an astrologer, right? It took me a while. I was never like ashamed of it by any means, right? But like, you know, you tell the wrong person before you're ready. And then they're like, well, what else is it that you do? Oh, you're an astrologer. What else do you do? What else do you do? And they're like, no, that's what I do. Like, that's my job. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of that being a job, your job is to also bring magic into the world. We have the magician card at the bottom of this. And the reason why I'm bringing up this whole like tap into your magic, claim what that is because like there's a magic in just claiming the I am, which is low key a very important lesson that's going to happen during the solar eclipse in a month from now. Just to let you know, is a power in claiming that I am. There's a very important lesson that's going to come up around the solar eclipse about that. So please pay attention to it. Okay, thanks. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much what's happening with that part, right? Let's see one more time what else we have in general. Then I'm going to get into each of the elements real quick, and we'll do like a rapid fire-ish type of breakdown. Starting for your rising sign, moving forward from this in this astrological new year, I want to really prioritize a rising sign because that is really how I read. And I know I was like, hey, everybody didn't know. I'm getting way more nuanced about how I approach astrology because I think some of my specific things have helped people. So I want to kind of like gear more of that into things just to make sure I have my own signature on stuff, you know? Maverick, baby. Speaking of, this was the next thing that I had for this, right? You got options and I'm here to let you know you got options, babe. But hey, it's all good though, you know what I'm saying? So here's the idea about this whole situation, right? With this wheel of fortune and this. What this is saying to me is that it's like, hey, there's a bunch of things coming and they're all good, but like, what's the right one? I don't know, right? This is like, this, I'm picturing this as like the stereotypical like comedy, like flick about like, it's like, there's like this funny, like almost like, or is it more Barbie-esque? Basically the idea that it's like, oh, you have to be like the prom queen or you have to be the pageant queen or something, but you have to pick the right person. And meanwhile, they have like all the liable bachelor options. I'm thinking like the reality show-ish type thing where it's just like, oh, I have all these choices and I don't know what to pick. And it's like, you know how in the reality show, they're like, they test out everything and they don't know. And then at the end of it, they're always like, it was you. I knew it was always you. They didn't know that. But here's the thing is that when they do choose that, that's what becomes their luck. So like there is this like explorative part to this new moon of Pisces. You don't have to have it fully down pat right now. That's what eclipse season is about. In Aries season, you'll fully know. Right now, it's just about feeling it through. There's going to be some back and forth-ish. There's going to be some like, oh, this looks cool. Oh, that was a terrible idea type of situations. But it's about going through with the situation. It's about the experience of that too. Why can't you have more than one? I don't know that you can have more than one. You can have whatever you want. That's new moon of Pisces. Like you can have whatever you want. Are you willing to like open up your heart to it once it's there? That's the real question. The more you know. Okay, cool. I hope that answered it. I was also being a little sassy, but I don't know if that answered it. I hope it did. Cool. I was just joking, truly, honestly. All right. All my goofiness and clownery aside, let's dig into this next part of things, right? What we're about to do is we're going to go through each of the elements. We're going to start off with water because it is that, you know what I'm saying? I also was just talking crap to a water sign, so I figured it would be best to start off there, you know? So we'll start off with water. And I'm just going to go in order of every sign. So this is going to be an mostly your rising sign. Most of these readings are going to be primarily your rising sign. I know not everyone knows your rising sign. So also fill in your sun and moon as well, right? But the rising sign is going to be the primary one. The moon and the sun are going to be like sprinkles of what's also added in. So listen to all three. You know what I'm saying? If you want to claim or drop down what you are over in the chat or whichever one when it pops up to represent, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who really be here for these live streams. I know a lot of y'all be showing up later. Who's here for the live? You know what I'm saying? All right, so we got some Cancer risings here. So that's what we're starting with. See, you shout out. We starting off with Cancer and Scorpio rising. Look at that. All right, so we're starting off with Cancer rising. New moon in Pisces. Yeah. Let's see what's pulling up. All right, so Cancer rising. We have for y'all the Page of Cups. it's so like one y'all need to start romanticizing your life a little bit more again, right? I think y'all have gotten so into the practical or the pragmatic side of things, and things are hard around the world. So y'all are feeling the emotions of everybody else, and y'all are like kind of like taking blame for it. Y'all are like, I should fix it. I should make it better. Y'all want to know why y'all are feeling that? Because America is a cancer. So yes, y'all are dealing with you are dealing with the country and the world around us. If you're not in America, you're probably hearing about it. Whatever. America's a cancer. It's not. And so the cancer risings are feeling all the struggles and pain of the whole country low key for us because of that aspect. We'll get into how all those things start to work at some other point, but that'll be a Aries season endeavor. Anyway, what I can say though, when it gets to this Page of Cups, we also have underneath this the Lover's card. So for Cancer rising, love is going to be your answer through to this, right? I think like even if this is like one of those scenarios in terms of things, like maybe this is your time to like shoot your shot, or more so like just like there's a romance to life that's about to come through, right? There's a romance to life that's about to come through. There's the letting yourself feel into the feeling of elegance, even if, right? The manifestation of the new moon of Pisces is like how strong can you feel into your glory or into your luxury, and that's what's going to be kind of the guiding force behind that. So there's going to be like people who show up and want to be about it, and it's just about love in general. But there is definitely going to be a special little and that's trying to pop up, you know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind in terms of that. Soulmates, in terms of friends, romantic partners, respectfully, or like whatever else that pops up. So just want to let you know. Okay, so that's gonna be for Cancer rising, right? And Scorpio rising, because I saw someone rep Scorpio earlier. One sec. Oh shoot, we had stuff on. I have one of those cards that I saw, but I'm gonna keep it in mind, right? So the last thing was for Scorpio. I want to see if the card pops up again, actually. I'm really intrigued if it does. Haha, yes, I've been feeling very of the goddess. I said haha out loud. I'm wild. Anyway, I'm feeling very of the goddess lately, especially having a Libra sun. That's beautiful to hear. Shout out to the Libra goddesses in here for real. You know what I'm saying? Stay lovely. Keep the world moving. Appreciate y'all. Okay, so Scorpio rising. We have the Justice card. The Justice card, though. The Justice card. Nah, but anyway, but for real, for Scorpio, right? We had the Justice card. Now, here's what I'm getting from this. Whenever I see a Scorpio get a Justice card, I kind of hit Scorpio with a sideline a little bit. I feel like homie that was in the meme bag, what he said. Because it's like, what you do, Scorpio? Now, that's not necessarily true. For what you do, Scorpio, you know? Only reason why I bring this up. The Justice card in this position, and underneath you have the Page of Pentacles. So it's like justice is being served. And I think if you're on the right side of justice, which is what happens, is that like you're getting your just desserts. If you're on the not good side of justice, things are going to get weird. But at the end of the day, there's something that's coming up as far as like a conflict of some sort that needs to like level itself out, right? Heather, I see you right now, right? Yes. So that's the thing, is that like leaning into that, the Page of Pentacles is trying to show you that you really holding your ground with that energy is giving you a chance, a position to really make and plant something new. Plant something new, make that happen and change in this upcoming future. So I hope that's giving you a little bit of a boost in a sense, right? So like, yes, there are maybe some conflicts that are coming up right now, Scorpio rising, but they're going to end up pushing themselves forward. And I got this as well for you, is a Strength card. So the real part, I don't think this is honestly, y'all. I think like with the Scorpio energetic, like, there's just been some wrongdoings, and this is you standing in your power as you really take it back. And it's not to flex on them back when you get everything that you know that you're supposed to, but it's like, that's right. Okay. And I'm moving on and forward. It's not a like, let's get some revenge thing. It's not a tit for tat kind of thing, Scorpio. It's just to like know that you were right about that scenario. That's more important. Okay. So for my widow fishes, we're going over to Pisces, the viscous piscus of them all. This is y'all new moon. Let's see what's pulling up. Let's see what's coming through. You know what I'm saying? For Pisces rising, and I guess your sun and moon. Maybe. No, I'm playing. Ooh, interesting. We also have the Justice card for you, Pisces. But we also have the Eight of Swords. That's interesting. Y'all watch me shuffle. Y'all saw me do my dance. So, with this being said, Pisces, I think you have your blinders on right now. Pisces, I think you've been having your blinders on, but there's a big change that's going to go on. I don't know if this is the same type of thing. Maybe there's like a very like low key underlying like justice for water signs energetic for this new moon. So I feel like water signs, if you've been done dirty on a social or emotional level, like people about to be getting hit with they just desserts. And like for Pisces, like y'all didn't even know that was happening. As a matter of fact, basically Pisces, y'all put your head down and just got to work. And I think y'all took my advice from a few bits ago where I was like, get your head down, get to work, because like what you thought was going to screw you over by not intervening in is now actually going to just move in your favor on its own. So congratulations. Nod to you. Great work. So that's the vibe that we have for Pisces overall. But yo, just to let you know, Pisces, just things are about to change, right? Pending in case you just found out. That's the Justice card. So look, don't freak out about it. What I see right now to Pisces though is that like there's a tendency to start to like panic with it, where it's like no. Just put your best foot forward. That's what I really have for that, Pisces. That like there's this like almost like I want to hit the panic button. No, just feel it out, go about it, regulate your nervous system best as possible, keep it pushing. Hope that works. Okay, I'm gonna go to fire signs because I feel like it. Okay, cool. If you're a fire sign, rising or whatever, make sure you drop it over in the chat if you want to represent the sign. You know what I'm saying? But let's get it. All right. So for fire, we have Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So let's start off first with Aries, right? All right. So for Aries, you're going to have to continue to stick up for what you believe in. This is one of those situations to where it's like, only you can disrespect you is the best way for me to put this, right? For Aries rising, this is like, if people might start trying to come up and be like, hey, blah, 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 the energy this is you holding your ground. Like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, I did do that. There's a power Aries and like claiming what's going on and just saying it for what it is and being like, yes, there is that. And then you want to know what that is the fact of this. Because guess what? You sticking up for yourself is leading into this Fool card energy, right? Throughout this eclipse season. You don't know how things are about to formulate, Aries, which is okay. But the idea behind this is that like you stick up for the you that you know that you've made, right? Especially for like Aries rising, the you that you've crystallized through this North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, last 2 years. You're sticking up for that person. You're sticking up for all the work that you did there. That's what you're sticking up to. So if people are trying to play you, if they're trying to be like whatever else, it's like, oh, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that. I'm not cool with that. And if you don't like that, I'm out if I need to be, because I'm blessed. I'm going to be good, right? Like there's this confidence, this surefireness, right? I don't know if for my fellow nerds in here, when Luffy, I think, got like gear 5, where he had his like newest form, there's like a picture of him jumping in front of like the moon, and he's just like having the best of times, which is very the Fool card energy. And that's what I'm picturing in terms of that for Aries rising. So hopefully that's what's coming through for y'all. Just keep it pushing. North Node's in Aries and it really resonates. You can look for your North Node as well in these cards. They're honestly energetically sound. So I really just I really just end up trying to capture the energetic and how it relates to the new moon of Pisces. So if you relate more with your North Node as well, listen to those too. So that's a good point. Appreciate you. See, she been my student so long. She came around and gave me some stuff to add in. See, so add your North Node to this as well. Thank you, Randall. Appreciate you. All right, let's get it. That's dope. I love that. This is great. Beautiful time. Love my job. Okay. Getting back and get a reading. Yeah, you. I know you've been watching this, having a great time. Get a reading. Come on, man. Help a kid out, man. Help me out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could talk astrology. Let me do your chart. Come on, man. It should be fire. And there'll be new things coming soon. I just been living life and just work. So much stuff. But hey. All right, Leo. These are for my Leos. Leo. All right, let's see what's going on with y'all with this energetic card. The lovers is what you wanna be. I don't know. Okay, aside from my musical aside, we have the lovers card for you, Leo, right? Congratulations. Yay, Leo. If Leos are falling in love, the world will be okay. Right? If Leo energetic people are starting to fall in love in the world, we're going to be all right. If not, I don't know. Because love is something that's supposed to really prevail during these times of hardship, so to speak. And with that being said, we also have the Fool card, Leo. So what this is really speaking on is new love of self-love, which is really important, but also new love in terms of like people coming through trying to be suitors. I don't necessarily know if you're even like paying attention to them, but it's nice getting complimented once in a while. You know what I'm saying? It's nice when someone's like, hey, that's a good. It's like, oh, for real? Wow. You know what I'm saying? It's nice. It's nice. And I think that type of energetic Leo is like what's kind of like coming up, right? Being ready to fall in love and fall in love with the aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? Fall in love with aspects of life, fall in love with the parts in terms of also this Fool card energy. Like you're doing something new. The character that you thought you had to uphold the first time is not the character that's going to lead you to the genuine greatness that you know is meant to be yours. So just follow that. I'm going to leave that there. That felt profound. I'm going to shut up. You're welcome. Make it art. All right. That was for Leo. For my Swaggitarian, Sagittarius. See what we got for that. Sag, we have the I have to get my controller, so I have my reverb and auto tune button, so I could just immediately do that. That'd be really fun. I would use the ever loving crap out of it. So yeah, come get a reading so I can get a stream deck. Thanks. Look at that incentive. I do this for y'all. I do. It's really fun. I love doing this. This really is my favorite thing to do. So it's a great time. Anyway, Sag, Hierophant. You just got to know you're a cool guy, man. You're not a chill guy, but you're a cool guy. And the reason why I'm trying to point this out, though, Sag, is that the Hierophant is like, Hierophant knows their relationship to power. They know that they're not the power, but they know their relationship to power, right? The Pope in this archetype is supposed to be the person who's able to bring down the lessons of the Lord while also being able to convey them in a way that makes sense to the common folk, who is able to like really translate those higher lessons into things that are more tangible, right? Who's writing the scripture of what they're saying down so everybody can understand it and not just what they understand, right? So Sag, you're getting into this like translation stage of like some of the more niche things or some of the things that you thought that no one would ever find value in that you really loved, like people are starting to want to buy into. And you're like, that's weird. Like, is this almost like a setup? Why are people into this thing that was made fun of before? Right. You know what I'm saying? I remember the whole change that happened and the perception change that happened in terms of like, let's say when like anime was like one of those like it's the nerdiest thing in the world, and you had like cool people watching it, or you had like Meg Thee Stallion. Yeah, Meg Thee Stallion cosplaying multiple different characters. Meg Thee Stallion, like, and then it became cool. And then it was like a fine thing. So things change, like trends change, vibes change, and Sag, you're like at the forefront of it. As a matter of fact, what you've been building on, and this is why I was trying to say, like, what you've been into is going to start to like actually become relevant again, right? So just to let you know, Sag, it's going to be things that are popping up that like you're going to be using your set of skills that you've acquired that maybe you didn't think that you were going to, but it's going to actually pay off. So keep side gigs in mind, because you might be really surprised about how a side gig might go. Yeah, I want to be the first one to have them. Yep, you know what I'm saying? So that's going to be Sagittarius. So that's all the fire signs, you know what I'm saying? Now we're going to go over to air. All right, let's go with it. Actually, bro, been tripping. I'm just gonna say regular air. Okay, so air, Gemini, Gemini, my Gemini crickets. No, let me stop. So for for Gemini for real though. Let's see what's pulling up for y'all. Long happiness. Just kidding. You're gonna be really upset first. You're gonna be like, then you're gonna be like, love is good. You're gonna be like, oh, this is terrible. It's like, oh, this is great. This is like Gemini. This is like, okay. I can't speak to everybody, but I watch a lot of stuff, and I have a very cartoonish mind. So I will explain it to you in this anecdote, right? So in terms of this is like the image of the bride having like the worst emotional time before like getting married. Not even because they like don't like the person, but just because they're just like, it's like so much, so to speak, right? Gemini, y'all are going through these like in between. Let me explain. Gemini, y'all are going through these in betweens of like pure bliss and like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, we're getting married. Oh my god, I'm getting married. Oh my god, I'm actually getting married. Like it's like both of those things are kind of going on. And the reason why I'm saying married is just because it's like you're in between a very strong positive and a very used to be low, and it's going to be kind of like this, like you're going to be teeter-tottering on both ends. It's like on one day you're getting up and you're performing the song that you love in front of the people that you love, and the next day you might be dealing with some like real life BS. And you're like, what's going on? And the next day it's like there's this back and forth that's going on right now, Gemini. And it's a back and forth that, Rapunzel, when she snuck out of the tower, is a bar. Shout out to you. Facts, Miley. That is a great example of that, right? Because she got out the tower, yeah, but then she's like, oh, everything's so crazy. Then she's like, it's like there's this like bliss to like ratio that's going on right now, Gemini. And what's really happening is that it's trying to like guide you into like, what does it mean? This is actually like, take a note from Libra's balancing game. And I say balancing game because Libras are not balanced. Love y'all. I heard blowing kisses were underrated. So there you go. But the idea, but what I am saying though, all jokes aside, is that like, it's genuinely like this such a like high and low type of like feeling. So like taking a note from like Libra, so to speak, is like, how do you get into this like middle ground between your fears and your greatest like umph, right? Y'all just watch like Kendrick perform one of the most polarizing performances in the last very long time. You get what I'm saying? For the last anyway, for the last very long time, like that's been one of those scenarios where like you saw the reaction that Kendrick got across the board from everybody. And did you notice how down the middle, like let's say you love the performance, did you see how many people didn't like it? And now let's see on the other side how many people were like, no one was clapping, no one cared about it. That back and forth, that's the Gemini thing that y'all are going through right now. And it's okay, because guess what? If they have to talk about it, you apparently mean something to somebody. So keep that in mind. Keep going with that too. The dichotomy that you're bringing is important. And the dichotomy that you're feeling is also important, because that's the back and forth that the world's feeling right now. Hate to break it to you. That's what's going on. And Jupiter is trying to make y'all start to pop later. So you'll have fun in the spring, I swear. I think that's my intuitive hit, at least. Okay. Let's get it. Yay. Yellow's your favorite color. I did have the mustard hat before the mustard being screamed everywhere became a thing. I just wanted to point that out. I also, one year, it was the year that the Ravens won. I just bought a Ravens hat because I like the color. It looks good. I'm not a football fan particularly, but I bought the hat and they won. And then I bought this hat at the beginning of my winter arc. Or no, this hat was gifted to me And I've been wearing it throughout my winter arc, correction. Cause that's what I do. And then, and then Mustard started screaming mustard. So it just worked out that way. But thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Okay. Let's get on to this. Libra. Labroskis. All right. So for Libra, right? I was reading the comment before. Okay. We have for y'all. See what pops up. We have the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords. It looks like, Libra, that this is somebody who wants to pair with you, right? This could be a partner. This could be, this looks more of like a significant other situation, or at the very least, Libra, this is a divine masculine to your divine feminine who's trying to like help you out and you're trying to help them out. And there's like a back and forth scenario that's going on with that, right? So what's going on with you, Libra, is that y'all are, and it depends on which side of that you're on, but there's like the masculine is on the edge of like passion and pushing things forward, whereas the feminine in this scenario is going to be more of the practical. Let's make sure things are like upright and we're saying the right things and we're more on task about that. What's going on with this is that there's a magic that's coming out of this, Libra, to where it's like you learning how to, and this is also happening on a personal within level as well, to where it's like there's a balancing act between those two things that's literally guiding you to the Magician. Because what people don't often realize about the Magician is that the Magician card is the only card in the tarot that's like specifically gender neutral. It's specifically like it's null because it is both the divine masculine and feminine, like at its like core infinity, so to speak, right? So that's what you're kind of learning throughout this, Libra, is that like through working with somebody else or through finding those aspects of yourself, you're figuring out the creative to the execution, to how do I communicate the things that I'm being creative on, to how do I even bring in that magic into the world. So I expect to make art. I feel like it's really coming through for that. There's like some artistic vibe that's coming in, and it's you really starting to like level into the ideas that you truly know are going to move the world forward, in your opinion, in your Venusian opinion. So yes, the world should be prettier. How do you make it prettier, Libra? That's now the task at hand with this new one of Pisces. Okay. Did somebody buy something? Oh my God. Oh no, it's false alarm. I was about to say, I was like, wow. Oh wait, other people did buy stuff. Wow, you guys are great. I didn't even see that. Wow. Oh my God, you guys bought stuff. Anyway, I gotta start. I want to figure out how to do all the like, hey, this person just bought something. Like, I want to get all the text up here. I want to look cool. You know what I mean? I want to look like a cool streamer. You know, that'd be cool. I'm gonna figure it out. Your time to shine, indeed. All right. Okay. Aquarius. I almost keep calling you the wrong name, but Aquarius. Aquarius. All right, let's go. My water bearers, not fishes. Water bearers. Let's see. Oh, you just had to hop out. Oh, okay. Aquarius. Yeah, I got the King of Wands. So the King of Wands, as like you're energetic right now, Aquarius. Pluto is making sure that you execute on the ideas that you had. Like, you don't have a choice anymore. If you tried it, you gotta like go for it. If you're thinking about it, if you're overthinking it, you have to just do the thing. You have to go for it. You have to give it a shot. You have to give it a shot, right? And that's really the biggest chance and change with this, because the Hierophant is like, you spent the last, I don't know how long, but that whole prep that everyone, like when Pluto dipped into Aquarius for that hot second and life looked like it was going to be so cool, and then it dipped out and then it went back into Aquarius, and everything that was cool before like suddenly got stripped away and then also given back, and then everyone was like, oh, this is going to look so cool again. Anyway, y'all are ahead on that innovation, and you know that you are. But this is about putting in the legwork. The legwork's coming through, Aquarius. Y'all had y'all season to ponder and meander, but now this is your time to step up into this power. Deep power. Deep power is compelling. No, I just wanted to say that, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much the vibe that I in general have for y'all, Aquarius. Step in, step up, knock it out of the park. So glad that it's resonating. That's what I got for y'all. It still counts as like the sun and moon too. I just want everyone to prioritize their rising for real, because like I want to make more content surrounding that, because it'll change your life. So doing my best. All right. Now on to the next. We have for our last people, we have the earth signs. So earth signs, are you prepared to be read? No, stop. Okay, so earth signs. These are, let's start off with Taurus. So we're going to do Taurus, mostly rising, but everything else. Loving the video quality. Thank you. I have worked so hard. Oh, it does not come to me naturally. So I appreciate it. Ah, man. Okay. Taurus, here's what we got. Taurus, we got the Tower card. You better leave that loser. You better fight those folks. You better leave that spot that you know doesn't deserve you. And you know that the spiritual awakening you've been looking for is happening. Stop ignoring it. Taurus, right now, all of the other stuff is like falling apart. And you're just there like, I'm staying in this tower, right? This is like Rapunzel's tower starting to fall, and she just decided to listen that day. She said, no, I'm staying in this tower. It's like, no, you actually have to go. It's like, no, I'm going to stay in this tower. Don't stay in the damn tower, Taurus. Taurus, leave. Get out of that thing. Taurus, y'all have been having some like weird hater situation. There's been people that have been just like, rubbing shoulders the wrong way. Taurus, look, man, y'all got the Ace of Wands. You can make whatever else you want. You don't got to deal with that. Audio on point 2, you will make me cry. You know how long I've been, Anyway, but Taurus, back again. You got to tap in to what is new, what is next. What else can you create? Because Taurus, y'all are master manifestors. Y'all are stubborn about it. Y'all don't want to start manifesting anything new. Y'all are like, but I did this, right? We got to get rid of this like sunk cost fallacy. Like, hey, we put in this much time. That means we're going to get a return on our investment. No, it does not. It is 2025. We are not in that age anymore. I'm sorry to break that down, but like when you know things don't have value, you can't milk value out of something that doesn't. I hope that hit for one of y'all, and I'm sorry for saying it that way, but that's what's coming through with this, right? Yeah. So get out of that scenario, because you have a lot to build up again. And as soon as you leave that scenario, what you're actually looking for and waiting to manifest is actually just going to show up at your door. Like, I'm so serious. Like, literally at your door. Watch. Literally watch. It might be a watch. Who knows? No, now I'm being extra. Everything else before that, on point. Okay. So now we're moving forward. Who we got now? Virgo. Virgo. Y'all not no virgins. You've been lying. Y'all lying to the people. Stop doing that. Okay. The lovers. What you wanna be. Anyway, so we have the Virgoski. We have the Lovers card and Temperance. You notice a bunch of angels here? See how there's like an angel on top of this angel? I'm gonna put this like this, Virgo. This speaks of like y'all about to fall in love. Y'all like this feels like a meeting the love of your life, but like playing it cool. You know what I'm saying? Virgo, for some reason, is like, oh, I just fell in love with my life. Yeah, that's cool. They real cool. You know what I'm saying? If you have, I'm picturing like the rapper Nas, and just how like when he wears his shades and stuff, and he's just like, yeah, you know, we keep it cool. We keep it real street. We keep it real. You know, there's just like certain type of thing. And like, meanwhile, you could be falling like fully in love with something, but it's like, no. Be cool, ice cold. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even worried about that for real, you know? Meanwhile, Virgo on the inside is like, but outside they're like, yeah, that's cool, shorty. Yeah, that was for sure. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Virgo, this is like really does speaking into like really starting to like access your heart again in a different way. And I mean it on like access. Like it's an access to a different part of your heart. through you just spending some time to chill. Being the chill guy the memes lie about existing. It's an interesting vibe for you, Virgo. Y'all all scared to fall in love. I'm interested to watch. So you know a Virgo falling in love, send them this video. They'll be mad at you about it, but you should do it. Okay. And last but certainly not least, we have a Capricorn. So for my Capri risings, and also my Capri Suns and Moon, let's break this down. We have the Sun card. Sun in the Capri. No, actually, the Sun. Sorry. Sun right now is Pisces. I was clowning too hard. One sec. Sun, Pisces, Sun card, Capricorn. Cool. Math. All right. We're back. So, Mr. Capricorn, Lady Capricorn, y'all need to use your emotions to step forward in business. And until you incorporate how you really feel into your work, it's not going to hit the impact you're aiming for. The old world, the more professionalish, corporate-ish, capitalistic-ish way to try to reach out to things is it's not working anymore. Or it's going to work, but it's not going to work on the market that you actually want it to work on. So when it gets to that, Capricorn, this is one of those scenarios to where it's like, speak about how you feel. Like, people want to know how hard you actually work, which is a weird thing to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I think like, or at least like from my personal experience, like I always try to be transparent with y'all about like the journey, about like how things like go with stuff. Like sometimes things are cool. Sometimes I have a harder time hopping up on live. Sometimes I'm like, let's get it, guys. You know what I'm saying? Depends, but I try to show up at least as like real as I'm trying to bring it, so to speak. And I think with Capricorn, I think this is something that you're about to do, where it's like I'm bringing myself wherever I'm going to. And when you do that and you really assess how you feel and be honest about that, that's going to be opening up a lot of lanes, opportunities, and windows for you in that process. So that's what I got for you, Capricorn. And that right there, as much as I know, has been the entire Zodiac. Everyone to clap for me. No, I'm playing. I just wanted to say that, to be honest. Oh man, if comedy paid, I'd do it, but it doesn't, so I'm good. Okay, yeah. All right, clap, clap. So, intrusive thoughts, they be winning. All right, so been wanting, awaiting Virgo rising, just in time to Venus retrograde. Word, dope. It's definitely where the struggle lies with us, Caps. How we feel in our work. Yes, that is a dichotomy. I actually want to do something in between, like what we know as sister signs at some point coming up soon. Again, I'm being very open to suggestions. So if y'all have any suggestions that are coming up that you want to learn about March and beyond, because I'm going to be doing a lot more of like other projects that require me to do like chill. Anyway, anyway, people have other projects in terms of stuff like that. So I just want to make sure that there was like that opening part, right? The ADHD be ADHDing. I be telling y'all. But then again, everybody with attention deficit got magic, but that's a whole other conversation for a different time. Shout out to Rick Riordan. If you know, you know. I met bro, matter of fact. Now I'm gonna talk about it. All right, let's talk about it. Fuck. I mean, darn it, you two. Anyway, so astrocartography. I do astrocartography. I'll brush up on it like on as like a teachable basis. That's something I can do. ADHD do be ADHDing, but that's why I try my best to like lock in to what's happening first. That's why I try not to talk too much to y'all in between that, because like I will get distracted. So I appreciate y'all. I know there's some people who hate it. Some people here are fellow yappers and they love it. Either way, I appreciate it. If you're here for the information, if you're here for that, if you're here because you like my face, if you're here because you like my voice when I speak, say things, or if you're just here because like you just like the vibe and just the overall like anything about this, like I just love and appreciate the snot out of y'all. Y'all make this happen. So yeah, this is the last call, by the way. We're ringing, dinging for the last call for anybody who wants a mini reading. I'm going to use the last of my general brain power of the moment. So if anyone wants to get a mini reading, and if anyone wants to just straight up order a reading, now is a good time. Yeah, I've been, and I'm gonna talk just personally for like a hot second. I've just been like, and this is the Pisces season part of things too. I've really been just seeing like how much I've done, but I know that things are shifting and going in a different direction. I don't want to just follow, like I know how to get things to be popular. I don't necessarily want to just do that though. I want to do stuff for y'all. I want to do stuff that like matters to people. You know what I'm saying? I want to do stuff that matters to stuff. And like I work in my job and I will still be a face and explaining things that are happening. But I want to make it so it's like, you know, I've been trying to practice like music again for the first time in like 4 years. Shit. So like 4 years, 5 years, like I haven't done music. And that's what I initially like came out here to do. You know, it was like music and production. And not to say that it's perfect right now. I got a lot to like work back up to, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's just something that I enjoy. It's something that I've been like doing to now alleviate some of the stresses of like having to be so on point in all these other aspects to my life. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just appreciate, you know, trying to dig into that. And that's why I try to tell people, I'm like, yo, like find that thing that like works. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I don't expect to like make music and be on the billboard or be the next charting artist. That's not my focus. My focus is this, right? Hi, Mr. Airplane Man. Bye, Mr. Airplane Man. Super fast. But the whole idea behind this, that is, you just gotta like feel into what's been right. You know what I'm saying? That's really the other side of this. So, yeah. You're a passionate soul and love us. That's why we appreciate you. I'm glad that it translates for real. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that it translates across, because like I think like talking to people across the internet is an art that's really weird. Because like I feel like I've done a good job of like being able to be personable across this. I feel like I show it very much as I am, as much as I can, to these things. So appreciate you. What's a good? Quintana always be calling y'all the holy ones, and I rock with it. That's fire. So yeah, cool. Let's get it. Appreciate y'all coming through. Is this a good time for people? Let me know if this is a good time too, because I wanted to make sure that I got people, because I know we have a lot of people internationally, so I wanted to be able to find a good time for everybody. But we're working on it. We're working on it. Okay. Let's dig into this. This is the last call. One more time. Last call. Opening it up now. If you haven't ordered a reading yet, you still probably can order a reading, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. But love the time from Berlin. Love it. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Is 444 where you're at right now? See? All right. We love serendipity. I was just, wow. Great time for you. Sunday morning. This is not church. This is church. Just want to let you know. It's not church. It's church. For no other apparent reason, just because it's more fun to say. It's church. You should actually, if you're here, listen to there's a song called Church by T-Pain. That's the type of church this is. So if there is one, you have to listen to T-Pain's rendition, and that's where I'm at. I wanna be a rude dude. I'm gonna fall the night when I told the night. That's a deep cut. Deep cut. If you like T-Pain, look up the song Church. It is an old song by him, and it's phenomenal. Okay. All right. I'm gonna mess up your name. I know you were from Berlin. I want to pronounce it correctly, so please correct me at some point about that. But Lizolette. I think it's Lizolette. I'm messing it up. I hope I'm sorry. This is for you. Let me tap into the reading part. This is going to be the mini reading for you. Breaking this down. Sorry for messing it up. I will do better and look it up later. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, we got stuff hopping out already. Okay. Let's see what's pulling through. So, the first thing that I want to tell you right now, right, is that I think, oh, it sounds fire? Good enough. We're good. So, the first thing I want to mention to you, we have the 8 of Cups. So the Eight of Cups is actually trying to gear you on a spiritual quest. What I mean by this is that when I see the Eight of Cups in this regard, this is about walking away from what's kind of already been broken. And what I mean by that is that like there's this like sometimes we like to stay in things that we know don't serve us. And this is trying to show you that part of your spiritual journey and spiritual path is to walk away from the previous expectations of what you thought you had to do a very specific way. What this is asking for and telling you is that with this Nine of Pentacles energy, right? You need to let yourself just like, I think this whatever you're walking away from was preventing you from being in your grace, feeling in your beauty, feeling in your power, right? It's almost like I feel it almost like a walking away from a very serious situation into like you now walking in a garden or in a park or in a forest, just trying to enjoy the experience, feeling the essence of like the nature, feeling like that reflective back on you in a sense, right? And we also have the Strength card. So I feel like you're about to get into this like really new rejuvenation stage and cycle, right? I know that you said that you're a Scorpio in terms of that as well, but this is like a real, like you've kind of already hit that bottom point, I almost want to say. So like whatever feeling that you've been dealing with, like you've already kind of like hit that transmutative part, right? Like there's this part that like you've I don't want to say that you're like fully done with everything and like congratulations, it's done, but there's this really new stage that you're stepping into with that. And it's very reflective of, again, this Ace of Swords feeling, or sorry, not again, this is new. The Ace of Swords is trying to show you that you can cut through all the BS and just be yourself and show up as your magic. So like lean more into that like divine feminine aspect, lean more into the things that used to be shunned, because that's actually going to be your power moving forward. I hope that that gives you some context. That felt very specific. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more in between that in terms of everything. So appreciate you. Thank you for pulling through. Much love from Berlin as well. Okay. So now we have Chris. Let's go. What's good, Chris? Appreciate all the insights and the welcoming, inclusive vibes and community you provide here. I do my best to provide a community in the open internet. So we're doing our best here, you know? Career is on top of the mind, but also open to whatever comes through. And we love to hear that. Let me see something real quick. I just want to check something. How do I do this? There we go. Okay. Lit. All right. I just want to do that before I forgot. Okay. So getting forward and moving forward into this vibe. Career's on the top of vibe. All right. It's for you, Chris. So what's going on in terms of career? What's going on in terms of that? Let's see what we got going. All right. This is for Chris. Let's pull up what we got. So first, we'll keep this. I'm pulling a little weird, but we're going to go with it. Okay. All right. Let me double check. Okay, that fits. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Love it. Awesome. All right, Chris, I'm going to be honest with you. People at church, I was going to say people at church. Hopefully not. But the people that work, they don't want you to win. I'm going to be so honest with you, Chris. The people at work right now, like you have more hater energy at work than I think that you may know, and I want to warn you about this, not to scare you, but to be like, oh no, if you think they're playing you about something, they are. I don't want to make you paranoid about it. I'm just being transparent. That's what I'm getting from this. This reminds me of the recent Kendrick Lamar where it's like, if they say it's love, you've been lied to, because like this is the other side of that, right? So they're like, oh, it's one of those feelings where it's like, oh no, but you're family here. Oh, you're part of the family here at this job. Oh, you're just one of the flags waving. So they are messing with you. I'm gonna keep it real. It's giving. They are being asshats. And you've been really keeping up and still upholding everything. And I think that it's like, that's the part that's really like almost frustrating about this as I'm even pulling this, is that it's like, yo, you really literally been doing everything you can. But they've been like almost like moving the guideposts or moving the goalposts every single time. And it's like, why are we doing that? Like, why are we having this type of situation? So this right here is really trying to show that, like, if it's time for you to move forward, it's time for you to, like, move forward. I'm not telling you to just immediately hop up and, like, quit and be out or dip out, you know what I'm saying? But there's something to this that really reads to me like, yo, you're probably going to be better off going the other way. Whatever alternative route that you've been starting to build for yourself makes more sense to that. Work environments nowadays, that's a fact. We don't have the same protections that used to also go on, right? There's a lot of change that's happening. So just to let you know, if you're feeling like you're going to be successful if you go forward and do what you think is right and next. But I don't think that work environment that you're in right now is going to be good for you moving forward. And I just want to be transparent about that. I don't want to scare you or anything else. I do think that there's a lot that's coming up after that. But I would really feel like crap if I didn't, like, let you know that that's the type of town that they were on. So I hope that helps, and I hope that you get through that in the best way possible. But that is what I got coming up. So Chris, F them, do your thing, because they suck. That's my take. All right. Maya Lee, let's get it. So it's for Maya Lee. Mars and Pisces, retrograde. Yep. Switching schools. Feel like college is not the main goal. Okay, cool. All right. So you're actually, so to give you some context, Maya Lee, you're actually feeling the last stages as well as this Mars retrograde. So this Mars retrograde was probably very powerful from you from December to now, right? So let's start to dig into this. Not feeling school anymore, feel lost. What's next for your growth? I just saw a quick glimpse of the Wheel of Fortune, so let's keep that in mind, right? I did see that for a hot second. All right, Maya Lee, let's see what we got for you. Okay. All right. So this kind of pulls up. Thanks for the wisdom as always. Thank you for showing up, yo. This is so fun for me, man. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is it's fun to be with the community. I work for I do my best to spread astrology to the masses, and I work to edit them, and I work to write myself and to bring it out to as many people as possible. Being able to tap in with y'all who came here for me and my vibe and just what I try to do and put forward. Love y'all. So great. Anyway, back to Maya Lee. Let's get to this. So I pulled these both as kind of like the theme of this whole thing is that there's a lot of moving forward. There seems to be an evolution of like this ruminating energy, right? It's almost like, oh, I think I can. Whereas the Knight of Wands is like, I'm going to do it. Like that's kind of like the transition I would say you're going in. It's like, I think I can. Oh, now I'm doing it. Oh, I'm going for it, right? And the Knight of Wands is that dude who's not afraid to shoot their shot, right? You ever see like I'm going to use your language that you all use. Yes, I did say you all. I'm going to use your language, then I'm going to explain something. And y'all have heard about this on the internet at some point or some case. So don't you look at me about it. But it's like I feel like the Knight of Wands is somebody who, as people would proclaim, would be medium ugly according to what y'all be saying. I'll be listening to what you say. And then, but he has game. And you're like, oh, shoot. Okay, this seems like a fun time. And then all of a sudden you're like, you're thrilled, you're going for it. The reason why I'm even saying this in this capacity in general is, and as a joke as it is that it's like, there's going to be something that breaks through in terms of like passion that you'd be surprised about. And what I also get from this is the Queen of Cups. So this is you said you have Mars retrograde in Pisces. The Queen of Cups is showing like, yo, you did get to that. And now I know what you were saying before, that you're about switching schools and the goal. And why did I mention all that before about stuff, right? The main change and stuff is like, the new goal that you're going for is going to outclass whatever it is that you've been doing in school, so to speak. And you're going to be doing what's more emotionally available for you. So I know I had like that joke about it, right? But it's like, oh, maybe they do have game, but are you willing to like stay here when I cry and I'm going through it? Then maybe that Knight of Wands might be like, I'm good, love, and joy, stay lovely, and keep it pushing, right? Because that's what the Knight of Wands will do. They're just like, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the other side of things. I don't think this is you staying at school in terms of what you think, right? Or maybe you do stay at school, but you start to head in a new direction while you're still there. So maybe you're still in your classes, but while you're in class, you're like, no, now I'm using this time to, that's what I did. That's what I did in school. I'm not going to lie to y'all. A lot of people are like, yo, how'd you get so nice in astrology? I was like, because every class I had, I was bored. So I just learned everyone's chart. Like every celebrity I ever liked chart. I was just studying what things meant. And that's just what I use that time for. I'm not saying you should do the exact same, but if that's a good compromise with things, something to keep in mind. But yeah, Miley, I think there's like school's been cool, but I think the new direction that you're aiming for is really going to be the like kind of like Pluto and Aquarius incentive that you're supposed to have. I hope that gives you some context. You're going to feel how to do this better since Mars is going direct now. But I think from from December to now, that's the case. You said, to be honest, I just want my degree because of my parents. That's the same thing that I did. And that's why I was like, no, I'm just going to learn astrology during this time. Instead, I still got decent grades. Don't get me wrong. Like I still did the work. But like, find time to make time for the things that you need while you still go on that journey, if that's the case. You get what I'm saying? I know you'll find a way, but that's my general vibe for that. So I hope that this helps a lot. So yeah, cool. Okay, so we have Anika, right? This is going to be for you. So, general, in Hermit, as Taurus does, in Hermit mode, right? Facts. Facts, Miley, I feel you. Just so I would say integrate both for right now, and that'll be the way to lead you through. Cool. So, Anika, general direction during this quiet time. Ooh, love that. I love that. All right. I read everything through. Just want to make sure it's good. General direction during this quiet time. And a new moon in Pisces is supposed to be a very quiet time, to be fair. It's supposed to be the stillest night of the year energetically, according to legend. So, let's see what we have coming up for you, Anika. All right, Anika. Let's see. It's a quiet time right now. And I don't do this to like fearmonger or none of that extra stuff. But I will say this. Anika, there seems to be like, there's some type of turmoil that's around. I don't know if this is you kind of retreating after like flexing on somebody, or if there's like there's like an energetic here though, that's speaking to people not necessarily wanting you to shine. And maybe that's why you stepped out of the limelight, so to speak. Maybe that's why you stepped out of being in the forefront of certain things, that you felt that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you were like, let's get into hermit mode instead. Because there's something to where it's like there's some type of like somebody trying to be weird about stuff. So you're like, okay, I'd rather be in hermit mode, rather be to myself, which was, to be honest, the best thing for you to do. Why is that? Because the Ace of Wands, you are able to retreat back into yourself and remember your magic and remember your ability to take and make things happen. Sometimes we get so caught up in situations in our real life that we do forget the magic that we're able to bring out, the magic that we're able to possess and passion and push forward. And this really speaks to me as a reminder of that action, as a reminder of that passion, right? Yup, it's comfy, right? So yeah, it's comfy, but now it's like, let's move the ball forward. Let's move things and make it happen. And then we have the Knight of Wands. So where I was making a joke about the Knight of Swords, apologies. Well, I was making the joke about the Knight of Wands earlier. The Knight of Swords is like, no, we're taking all these ideas. We're getting all this. This almost feels like a certain amount of like, quote unquote, revenge from having to be comfy. Or maybe it's like it feels to me like someone having to like take time off of work during like the middle of a thing. I'm getting like the vibe of like, but we're in the middle of the case, sir. I've almost cracked this case, but they're like trying to protect it from something. So they're like, no, you have to take your time off. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind, detective. You have to take some time off. You need to take some time away. And it's like, no, I'm almost there. If just one more day, I just need a little more money to get to the house. Like I'm joking, but there is like a lot of like energetic that's kind of like that. And then it's like, once you get back, it's like, nope. Here's all the things. Like there's an uncompromising force that's going to be coming from you, really pointing out what's BS and what's not. So yes, you've been comfy. There's something that I got pointed out. I know you said that you're a Taurus. This is one of the most important Taurus things I ever got like taught, right? And I remember there was a time frame before like my career kind of took off with this, and I was like just really having a hard time. And I called up a Taurus I'm very close to, and they were like, yo, take this time to just sit on your ass and rest for all of the time that you have right now. Because once the ball gets rolling and starts, you'll never stop again. So let yourself rest when you have the rest, because once it starts going, you're never going to stop. And you want to know damn right what? They was right. So something to keep in mind. Things are going to start moving forward. Don't worry about that. Okay. But that's for you, Anika. I hope that you enjoyed. Let's get it. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3. All right. So we have 2 more as of right now from what I see. So this one is for Siobhan. I got you. Actually, let me double back on you. I feel like last time I read for you, but it wasn't the right thing. My fault. I'm remembering this now. Okay. I think I got caught up doing something else. My fault, dog. Ah, man. Okay. I got you on this reading. Let's break into this, right? I got you. Because I was trying to pull last time and it turned out more love-ish than it needed to be. That's what it was. Okay. So let me just pull this as a general. I got you. All right. Bet. Boom. Okay. So what I have from this is that there's a walking away that is going on a spiritual level. I don't think it's necessarily like you walking away from things, but I think it might be you having to like withdraw certain feelings from it, or maybe you've been like a little bit too intensive about like this. Because what I see going on in your world right now has a lot to do with like some bickering, and this feels like a work thing. Like everybody at work arguing about this, like who's doing what task, who's getting paid what, who's doing this, da 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 da. Like there's a lot of like BS and hoopla, and I think this has a lot to do with Mars retrograde. So I think even throughout Mars retrograde, there's been a lot of like inaction because people just can't get their stuff together, right? Like there's been like this like inability for people to get things together, and so it's been frustrating even for you because like you're standing in the middle of that, like yo, I have my stuff together, but because everybody else don't, it's like I can't let myself push forward. It's similar to like how you have a group project, and maybe you did the whole project. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you did like most of it and nobody else worked on it for real. But it's like, man, I know my stuff. But it's like you're getting graded based on what everyone is doing in your group. And you're the only one that worked on it. And it's like, man, I did all this. What's up with that, right? But here's the kicker and here's the thing. I would say while everyone's bickering and you're emotionally walking away from whatever they're being mad about, this is for you to start to launch even more of those projects off, right? So let's say this is the example. Let's say everybody right now is mad at the boss for some reason. Instead of you being mad at the boss and protesting at the boss too, you're just like, hey, everyone's mad at you, by the way, but here's some ideas I have, and like maybe we can start pushing those forward, right? Like there's like this like there's a passion that comes up. You know, you do have to speak on the ideas that you have. You know, there's this one in Training Day with Denzel Washington, one of the biggest quote from that, where he's like, King Kong ain't got nothing on me, right? The biggest part to that whole aspect is that bro made it up on the spot, right? That wasn't in the script. It's one of the most important parts of the movie for people in terms of their memory, but it wasn't even in the script. He just did that. So the idea behind it is like sometimes you do have to go off script and just do that thing. Even as a director or even if whoever else is like, oh, I don't know, like start the thing up. If you have a solution and they're not hearing you, start the first part of that project. There's that type of feeling that's coming in with this new moon in Pisces. But I think people are really going to be like digging into like what you're making. But those are my suggestions to go along with that. And I hope that makes sense and that helps in that process. But yeah, dope. And last but certainly not least, right? Let's see one more time. Scrolling through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So last but not least, we have Randall, right? Shout out to you, Randall. All right, you feel like them Libra. I do know your sun, moon, and rising. You are correct. Okay, I feel like the Libra full moon is very specific time that keeps coming up as coming out. I like to get some more depth on this intuitive time frame and significance. Okay, let's see what's going on. So let's see what it says. All right, let's dig in. Why? Oh, we got the cards hopping. Makes perfect sense. Perfect. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Love it. All right, we have the cards hopping. Let me start pulling again because that doesn't feel right. One second. All right, Randall. It's for you. It's for you. Yeah. Yeah. Rock album coming soon. All right. So first thing I have is temperance. The reason why I think the Libra full moon, as it's not focusing, but then the reason why the Libra full moon is trying to come up for you, right, is like, this is your crowning moment. This is where the high priestess thing will feel like the full package versus the guidance on it. I think the reason why that keeps coming up to you now is because like that's the, I know we were talking about it and you're like, when am I going to like feel the whatever side of that? That's what's coming up for that. But that's why it's going to happen after this eclipse season. So this eclipse season is your like rocky training montage of all of those other like basics and everything else now, including Venus retrograde, including Mercury retrograde. What I have like to just tell you random for that is like, it's a very strong back to the basics kind of feeling. And I think we talked about this briefly, but it's like become the master of the basics, because by the time, again, like you said, this full moon in Libra that's coming up in this upcoming April goes on and happens, which is what I was saying in the end of eclipse season cycle. That's the crowning moment. That's where the peace happens. That's where the like, because you've been downloading and you've been really figuring stuff out. And it's like it's where you have those questions. Those are going to be answered through this eclipse season cycle. Because you know what you're talking about. Got the Hierophant, you know what you're talking about. You have the Chariot card under here, Miss Cancer Rising. The Cancer card for getting things done and moving stuff forward. The Chariot card. You're opening up an empire that you're not aware of yet. And I know you said you're about to drop your website and everything else and like the expansion. Those things are slowly happening too. But the reason why the full moon in Libra keeps coming up for you is because this new moon in Pisces, you need to manifest for that upcoming like full moon in Libra and keeping the space open during eclipse season to learn the lessons that you need. And you know the magic of that. And I don't got to get even deeper into that. We've talked long enough. So you know exactly how I'm thinking, like in explaining this, to be fair. Like that's a very directive thing. I'm literally used to talking to you on these days. It's weird that we just ended off those times. But regardless of all this, the idea when we get to the actual Hierophant is like, you know what you're talking about, and guess what? You're thinking about the full moon in Libra because that's what you've been waiting on. But like everything in between has to do with how well that gift, when it gets there, is going to be wrapped. Oh, I'm going to leave it at that. I have been profound for 2 hours. Come through, please. Picking up what I'm laying down? All right. That's what matters. You know what I'm saying? But yes, ladies and gentlemen, days, gays, and more. We have done the damn thing. We have talked about the new moon in Pisces that is coming up. Very excited for the ending of this astrological new year to bring people into a better understanding of their emotional, spiritual, and just their selves, you know? So, yeah, I have nothing else to say aside from get a reading, pull through. If you like the readings that you got now, I do these live just to give you some context. So when I'm dialed in and I'm fully, I got to just talk for 2 hours straight. So when I'm fully dialed in, I'm like using this to record the tarot from an up-down stance, and I'm really into it. It's a very different experience, but an experience nonetheless, you know? So let me just double check something right quick. Boom, boom. Yeah, that should be good. So yeah, we got everybody. Much love to each and every one of you who are here today. Thank you all for showing up. I'm going to be putting the monetization on. If you came here late, sorry, y'all. Come on, man. I let y'all just pull up for like 2 hours. I ain't even had no ads on, yo. That's for love. You know what I'm saying? But for real, thank you all for always showing up for me. The March horoscopes coming out for astrology.com. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all support it. If y'all could like, when it drops, read it, you know, post it on the story, tag them or something, you know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that they know that y'all enjoying that kind of thing. It's been my first writing piece someone asked me to do in a while, so I fully sat there myself and I was like, let's just dial this in, you know what I'm saying? I use other tools usually to like help like bridge my ideas together. That one's all by hand. That was very much like from me to everything else. So, you know, I know I write a lot and have to, oh my God, sweating, doing a lot of stuff. Sorry, y'all. But I know I have to do a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? So This one's really like just because if it's something else like that, I gotta really like make sure that it comes from me and like written from that perspective. So yeah, just make sure that y'all check that out too. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Art? Yeah, you're gonna have to get the replay, brother. I hate to break it to you. I hope everything's been going well. Happy Black History Month to you as well, brother. You know what I'm saying? I know we make Black history every day, but I wanted to make sure that I know as a historian, I want to make sure to give you your credits as well. And thank you for also helping make Black history. You feel me? Shout out to the Black excellence. Shout out to excellence in general. But it's not just a month; it is a movement. The future will be televised, as someone said recently. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate each and every one of y'all. Much love. Happy new moon in Pisces. I'm about to be out. I'm gonna take a nap. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. This the thing? No, I was trying to do something cute. Okay, here we go. Bye, everybody. Yeah, nope, wrong way. I'm not doing it. It's not working. That's okay. That's fine.